Let's see, using the chat or unmuting and speaking up, what do you think is on the OpenMRS roadmap? No cheating, just off the top of your head, go ahead and share with me what's something that you think is on the community roadmap right now. Great. We've got Frederick in the chat saying AI. We've got from Samuel Lubuama supporting Java LTS. Yes, good one. We've got from Matt South, we've got CDS. Yes. From Harsh, we've got React 19. Also true. Well done. From Michael, we've got bed management, our first IPD feature. Yes, that is also true. A plus, everyone. We've got the print feature from Jonathan. Yes, that is true. We are trying to make printing easier throughout the reference application um, thanks to community effort from Madiro. AI terminology mapping. We've got horizontal scaling. Yep. Ooh, fire appointment AI API. Got AI on the brain. Anything else on people's minds? Oh yes, ICD 11 in CL. Yeah, that would be great to have. ICD 11 is such a popular request. All right, well, great. It's oh, embedded forms in visits. Yes. Well, the number one thing on our community roadmap is you. I know how cheesy that sounds, but I'm going to prove it to you now, and we will go through the roadmap specifics. For example, in our last two releases of the EMR in January and March, look at this amazing list of contributors. I was especially touched by all these volunteers who got, not only did they work on code contributions, but they had them merged, which, as we all know, means that they went through the review process, the back and forth, etc. So all these people and organizations that you see listed here successfully had their work added to the January and March releases. And in fact, we can see the impact of that. So first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who contributed. We literally cannot do this without you. Even though we have a small support team, our job is to support you. And yeah, you make this feature work possible. If we have an actual look at the pie chart, we can see that in March, a huge proportion of what was in the release came from volunteers. You can see this gigantic slice here, and you can see this diversity of organizations contributing, which is really amazing. This slice here from OpenMRS Inc. support team, we want to make this smaller over time. This particular release had a lot of technical debt, complexity that we were helping to clean up, in particular, both the platform upgrade as well as switching to the brand new content packaging strategy, which you're going to hear more about today. Let's look at another one though. In January, you can see again something a little more representative. You can see all these organizations contributing. This is just by PRs. So this is missing, like there's some orgs who are doing a phenomenal job, like Digi, Palladium, PIH, of contributing to PR reviews, which we all know are not the funnest thing in the world. So thank you so much to all of these organizations for contributing. Your work literally is a critical piece of the pie. And same thing from our volunteers. And again, we have this support from OpenMRS Inc., which again, we're working on reducing this slice of the pie and focusing more on technically challenging things so that we can hand over remaining work to community. Speaking of which, what are some themes? Sometimes people ask me, what are some themes that you notice are coming up across the community or our industry as a whole? So on the community side, it's really painfully clear to us that we need more intro tickets. And this has been a long-standing issue for our 20 years of being an OpenMRS community, but this is something we are trying to work harder on. And part of the way that we do that is by working harder on making projects available. This requires actually quite a bit of a pipeline, from BA work all the way to making sure that the dev requirements are extremely clear so that we can have more projects available for the community to pick up. And I'm going to show you more details about how we're trying to do that. But in our industry, there's three themes that are painfully clear right now, and I'm sure there are others. If you think I've missed anything, or if there's other industry themes you'd like to share, or community themes, please do share them in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Three themes that stand out to me right now are cloud hosting is a really big one. Whether you need clustering or horizontal scaling or multi-tenancy or just general guidance on how on earth to support OpenMRS in a cloud-hosted environment, which might be government cloud or a regional county cloud, etc., cloud hosting is in demand more than ever. You might remember a few years ago, we had this slide from Game of Thrones, the winter is coming, except that we said cloud is coming. And we were right. It's very clear that the community is asking for clearer and better cloud support. So I'm really excited to hear more about the support that RAF has been stewarding in the community for cloud. We're going to hear about that later today. Cost. We are all painfully aware of the changes that have been happening in the aid funding ecosystem over the last few months, but also over the last few years. Aid in humanitarian and healthcare spaces has been generally declining. But now more than ever, both implementations and ministries are extremely cost sensitive. What this means for us and our product is figuring out ways to make OpenMRS as fast and low cost to set up and implement as possible. And the only way we can do that is by hearing from you, our community, about how you would like to do that going forward and what areas for improvement you see. And last but certainly not least, non-clinical areas, i.e. labs, supplies, billing, insurance. We call these non-clinical as an easy way of referring to them, but to be honest with you all, many of you know that I was a registered nurse. Specifically, I specialized in emergency, and the truth is that labs, supplies, insurance, these things are part of care, of patient care. If you don't have the stuff that you need to do care, you can't give the right care. If you don't have lab results quickly available in your system, you can't give the best care. If you don't have clarity on what the patient's insurance coverage is, you often can't, or sometimes the system won't give the patient the care that would be best for them. So we are getting more and more advice or friendly observations from community members that we need to continue strengthening this element of OpenMRS. And that's one of the reasons why we find projects like Ozone and the integrations that offers so exciting. But it's clear there's more that we need to do on the EMR side as well. So we'll continue to unpack that. Gosh, that's a lot of things, but how do we continue to unpack and track all these things? Now we're going to look at the meaty stuff. I promised everyone. Thanks for waiting. What you might not know, we're going to get to the product roadmap last. What you might not know is that we are tracking community projects publicly. Actually, let me just show everyone how to find these things. First, let's go to the wiki. Let me zoom in a bit for everyone here. We land in the general wiki space. And if you look down on the left, you can see releases and roadmap. Let's expand that and have a look. We've got our product roadmap, our community projects, and our squad dashboard. Every week we go through the squad dashboard, but you might not be aware of the product roadmap and community projects. Let's have a look at the community projects list. Since every week we're looking at the squads, the thing about the squads is that doesn't capture everything that's happening, because there's a lot of work that community members are leading that's not happening within a squad. And that's what this community projects list is trying to capture. So if we go into the interactive view, you need to be signed in with your OpenMRS account to see this guy interactively. We are now looking at the community projects. I need to fix that link. We're now looking at the community projects. Let's go ahead and filter out the squad piece, because we don't want to, let's say you want to see what else is going on, Grace, that's not a squad initiative. All right, well, let's filter that out. We're going to remove by the team or squad. We're going to say don't include for us, actually just include open opportunities, design, platform team, security group, GSOC. All right, so now we have not included the squads. Oh, no, or I messed that up. Always dangerous to do a live demo. All right, not sure why. Oh, okay, because it's got multiple labels. That's why. Okay, so this is the list of things that are not only happening within a squad, although you certainly could join them if you wanted to. Like for example, someone mentioned thanks to Samuel Luwama for mentioning Java support. Yeah, we want to move towards Java 21. Because it's extremely important as like the basis of our entire platform. To learn more about how you could get involved in that project, Wickham's done a great post, for example, on what we're looking for and what's needed, and specifically what modules are needed. Okay, I need to add a better link for that, but yeah, we are looking for contributors to help us go through and update the required modules for that. Another example would be we're always looking for people to help improve our automated test coverage. There's also the audit log improvement project that's part of GSOC this year. There's also the ongoing project that Daniel's always looking for support with in replacing the standalone, because we know that's a big need in our community. All right, those are some examples of community projects. What did I mean earlier when I said we have to work on requirements? Here's an example. So there are a number of projects or sometimes squads that we know need a bit of support with writing down the requirements so that community members can work on it. For example, one of the great pieces of work that Veronica has been doing is making a better home page. We all know that we want the landing page of the EMR to be more useful and beautiful. And so, but the question was how, to what degree? And that takes someone sitting down and going through all those requirements. So this is where we're kind of sharing the load as BAs across the community, and I'm always interested in meeting new BA candidates. So right now, myself, Fiona, Veronica, Michael, David DeSimone, we're some of the different folks contributing to grabbing BA requirements in advance. Come talk to me if any of these seem like things that you would like to work on creating the requirements for. So for example, here's a quick one, is the growth chart. This was something that became clear we wanted some stronger requirements for, and that meant going and doing a market review and gathering requirements, resources, and then having a technical feasibility discussion with engineering. And eventually, we turned these into epics and tickets that anyone can work on. All right, let's move on. Last but not least, the OpenMRS product roadmap. Once again, just to show everyone how to get to this, if you're in the wiki, again, we'll go to the little rocket ship for releases and roadmap. We'll go to the product roadmap, and you can see here our top focus areas. We want the EMR to be ready for implementers, ready for the eHealth leadership that has to pay for the work. We want to build together, and we want flexible content for whole patient care, not HIV only. So to go and see the roadmap interactively, there's an iframe here that anyone can look at, or you can go to the interactive view, which I have open here. So for example, you can see some things we accomplished recently within the last year as a community, like Java 17 support, moving from the Hibernate API to JPA, which improved performance and usability for backend engineering. Content packages, the architecture, the schema, the MVP tech, it's now in the RefApp EMR as of the last release. But happening now, good heavens, there's a lot of things. Even for me, it's hard to keep track of everything that's happening at one point in time. But if you're ever interested, here's a couple examples that we're going to hear about a lot of these today. The content automation by Madiro, translating OpenMRS to OMOP to make data extraction easier and clearer for researchers. API documentation, age-based range support, the visit history screen, thanks to PIH, retrospective data entry, that's going to improve a lot. We're really excited to hopefully get that in the next release if we can. and so on. You can see there's quite a lot here. If you ever have a question or you're really excited about an item, for example, let's say you're really passionate about having a better audit log user interface, then you can either comment. These are just like Jira tickets. You can comment here. If you know of a implementation that really needs this thing, we capture that in insights. And in the near future, if people are interested, we can turn voting on here as well. That was a whirlwind tour. I think I've gone over my time, but if you have any questions at all, happy to take those. And in summary, we are OpenMRS. Thank you so much.